Business Q&A is brought to you by iBurst Business.
Welcome to Business Q&A. Well, self-service and its impact on our service industry, that's a topic of discussion for today. And I'm joined by Kevin Meltzer, who's the Business Development Director at self-service specialist company Consology. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Good evening. Good to be here.
Well, customer centricity, it's a buzzword, particularly in the service sectors. What's your sense of the move towards this sort of paradigm here in South Africa?
Companies are certainly in South Africa looking to become more customer-centric and deliver better quality customer care to customers. And I think it's also driven by the fact that we as South African consumers have become more demanding around what we expect as regards customer service. So many companies now are looking at ways of getting closer to their customers. And what we've seen in our business in Consology is many organizations are looking at self-service systems and using technology as a way of getting closer to their customers.
Just something I remember reading is that South Africa, in terms of service itself, trails our global counterparts. Is it the same for this sort of paradigm, this sort of service that we're looking for?
I think certainly when we look at technology being used in customer care around self-service, I would say that to a certain extent South Africa is a leader in many areas. Certainly if you look at internet banking and the effect that internet banking's had in South Africa, we have world-class online banking platforms here that have made a fundamental difference to customer care within the banking industry, and we can be very proud of some of the things that we've done. I think where we lack potentially is the demand from customers for that high level of quality customer care that I've spoken about. Only recently in the last couple of years have we seen consumers become more demanding and starting to inquire a lot more about the value they're getting out of the relationships they have with their service providers, whether it be products or price, and trying to make sure they're getting the best deal possible.
What's bringing about that change from the consumer's perspective in terms of their service needs?
Well, now we could be quite topical around the recession and say that obviously all of us have less disposable income, so we're looking to get more value out of our service providers. But in general, this has been a bit of an evolution in South Africa as we've become more comfortable with requesting the type of service that our global kind of peers have been getting in different businesses around the world. So it's really driven by consumer behavior, and it's also driven by the fact, of course, being in a global recession, that we need to make sure every cent we spend with service providers is well spent. And service providers themselves are saying money that we spend on servicing our customers must be the most efficient money we're spending.
So as a business, I embark on a self-service strategy, trying to get closer to my consumer. I want to ask, does this guarantee that I will get customer loyalty from my consumers as a result of embarking on such strategies?
A lot of the research we've done in the local market as Consology with other organizations, we have seen that there is a greater response from customers that are engaging through an electronic channel than those customers that go through the typical service channels, be it calling into a call center or walking into a physical branch. So what we believe is that customers that are using self-service systems and those systems that are deployed well and support us and make it easy for us to use, we're going to be happier as customers. The customers that unfortunately are walking into a branch and standing in a queue or phoning into a call center and being put on hold for a long time, those customers are generally quite unhappy by the time they receive the service they're looking for. So there are the stats to back up the fact that if we use technology as an enabler of customer care, we should have happier customers, which should drive more loyalty in the long term.
Well, so we're using technology and all these applications, but on technology, is there no concern that with regards to the level of technological know-how of South Africa's population, that this might cause some sort of barrier?
I think that there's been concern from two sides. One is the adoption of technology and the ability to actually use that technology, of course. The second side of it is organizations that are looking for customer intimacy by being nervous or concerned rather around using technology as a way of deploying service. The old paradigm was that quality customer care is delivered by a person talking directly to someone, either over the phone or alternatively in a branch, in a retail branch or retail store. We've seen some change in that kind of paradigm. We've seen some change in that view. Firstly, from the fact that as far as use of technology goes in South Africa and Africa in general, obviously with the widespread use of cellular technology and cell phones, many customers are quite used to doing things themselves, such as loading some prepaid airtime on a phone. That is a self-service transaction. And then on the other side, we've seen companies become much more comfortable with delivering customer service through electronic channels. Organizations like the Airports Company, of course, have self-service check-in terminals that people can check themselves in to get onto a plane. And that's a better experience for those people that are actually using it. So over time, we've seen that, as I mentioned earlier, we've seen an evolution in attitudes, and the change has been that we're more accepting of using this technology, and organizations are more comfortable with freeing up the channels of communication and moving it online as opposed to having everything paper-based or telephonically based.
All right, thank you very much. That's Kevin Meltzer, who's the Business Development Director at Consology. Thanks for watching.
Business Q&A was brought to you by iBurst Business.